You just expect free home, free video game, and free food. Is that right?
That's a poor excuse for life. I don't know. At this point, it's I don't care. It's always I don't care forever.
Everything come out of everybody's mouth is blaming me like I'm not trying.
Sean, you got yourself in this predicament.
DeShaun's episode is frustrating because it does not feel like watching a man who had no help. It feels like watching a man surrounded by help from every direction, yet still choosing the bed, the food, the excuses, and the victim mentality every time life asked him to take responsibility.
I dread waking up every day in this body because of my weight. That's the main reason I'm trapped in this body. It makes me wish stuff was different. Well, right now, this is my life.
At nearly 700 pounds, DeShaun had not just become trapped in his body. He had turned his bedroom into his entire world, where the TV, the video games, the meals, the snacks, and the people bringing everything to him made it possible for him to avoid the outside world, almost completely. And that is what makes his story so uncomfortable, because Dr. Now could send the plan, the nutritionist, the therapist, the PT, and even medical transport to his door. But none of that mattered if DeShaun never truly wanted to open the door.
Because he clearly lacks a lot of motivation. He has a nurse taking care of him, and it seemed like a free place to stay, and free food and everything. So he has a lot of reasons not to change his situation and start taking responsibility for himself.
When we first meet him, DeShaun is only 28 years old, but his life already looks like it has stopped moving. He lives with his mother and siblings, and even though he is the oldest child, his younger sister Diamond is the one taking care of him. She helps him bathe, brings him food, runs errands, cooks for him, and tries to motivate him without humiliating him. Diamond is patient, kind, and protective, but that is also the tragedy of the situation, because the more she does for him, the less DeShaun has to do for himself. Her love keeps him clean, fed, and emotionally protected, but it also helps keep him in the same room, in the same bed, living the same life.
I'm not watching up my mom or my dad, I'm watching up my big brother. So it's like my little big brother. Watching him up is a little awkward, but nobody wants nobody around smelling or...
His mother clearly loves him too, but even she admits that DeShaun has always been spoiled. And once you see the family dynamic, that word starts to feel dangerous. This is not a man being pushed toward independence. This is a man everyone has learned to work around. If he wants food, someone brings it. If he needs help, someone comes. If he refuses to move, the house adjusts around him. And after years of that, help stops looking like support and starts looking like a system that keeps him alive while keeping him stuck. Nobody wants to see him die, but nobody seems able to make him uncomfortable enough to actually change either.
DeShaun has never left this house. Not once for 3 years. And I think he's been in the kitchen twice. So if meals are not prepared by his sister or myself and brought to him, he does not move.
To be fair, DeShaun did not become this way for no reason. He had pain in his childhood, he was bullied in school, and food became a way to numb everything he did not know how to process.
My experiences at the schools was getting bullied. Everybody messing with me and picking on me. And then I just started eating a lot of junk food.
Then after he was shot outside his home, his fear of leaving the house got much worse, and that fear slowly turned into a lifestyle. He stopped going outside, stopped walking to the store, stopped doing normal things, and started shutting himself away from the world until isolation became normal. That part is sad, because trauma can shrink a person's life before they even realize it. But trauma can explain where the pattern started, without excusing why he keeps protecting it after it starts killing him.
Going on 16, when I had ended up getting shot, me and my mom were having a little shindig, and out of nowhere we just started hearing gunshots, and bullets is flying everywhere. I guess the adrenaline and stuff is real, because I jumped up and pulled her down, and when I went to go pull her down, that's when the bullet grazed my hand right here and went through my thumb and came out right here. Like, I didn't even know I was shot until my mom started freaking out. It's like, you're bleeding, and I look down, and that's when the pain started coming. Nobody died or anything, so I'm glad about that. But that's when I really started to stay in the house all day.
The shopping scene shows how deep the addiction and enabling have gone. DeShaun does not even need to walk into the store anymore, because Diamond FaceTimes him while she moves through the aisles and lets him pick food from his bedroom.
I tried these shoes and they can't fit, so would you be willing to go to the store and I just FaceTime you while you're there?
Yeah.
Chips, sweets, cakes, ice cream, drinks, snacks, and then even more food on the way home. That moment says everything about the cycle. DeShaun does not have to stand up, struggle, feel embarrassed in public, or carry anything. He can simply sit in bed and choose the food that keeps him trapped, while someone else becomes the delivery system for his cravings.
You get a bag of hot cheese puffs and jalapeno cheese puffs.
Okay, so this one.
Yeah, grab both and grab a dip.
All right, any more chips?
No. You around any sweets?
They got lemon cake.
When Dr. Now first speaks to him, the truth is simple. Whatever DeShaun is eating is supporting a nearly 700-pound body, so if he wants to live in a smaller body, he has to eat like a smaller person.
Well, whatever you're eating right now is supporting 700 pounds. So if you want to eat to support somebody to be 200 pounds.
There is no secret medical mystery here. He needs the diet, movement, therapy, honesty, and accountability. But almost immediately, DeShaun shows how unserious he is. While he is supposed to be starting the program and waiting for a nutritionist to come to the house, he is sitting there with McDonald's. Help is literally walking through the door, and he is eating the exact kind of food that proves he has not changed anything.
I got food for you.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is your nutritionist coming today?
Yes.
All right, well, we'll leave the door unlocked for you.
The nutritionist visit makes it worse because DeShaun does not just eat the wrong food, he downplays the whole situation. He acts like he mostly drinks water, laughs off what is happening.
So tell me a little bit about what your normal eating habits look like.
A pizza or some noodles or a burrito or something.
And talks about changing as if it is something he might get around to when he feels like it. That is where the frustration really starts, because this is not just ignorance. This is dishonesty. If someone cannot be honest about what they are eating while the evidence is sitting right in front of them, then no diet plan is going to save them.
If I want to get better, I got to do something, so I don't know if I'm going to start right away, but no, I am. It's just, I know it's going to be difficult.
Then Dr. Now finds out that DeShaun never properly connected his nurse with the meal plan, even though she is one of the main people preparing his food. That detail says a lot. If he truly wanted to change, making sure the person cooking for him had the right instructions should have been the first step. Instead, weeks pass and the same habits continue. The nurse explains that his family gives him extra food when she is not there, and when people try to say no, his attitude becomes too much to handle. That is where helplessness starts to look like manipulation, because DeShaun may not be mobile, but he still has power in that room. He can yell, complain, shut down, and make everyone miserable until giving in feels easier than holding the line.
Whatever he wants them to do, they do it because he screams and he yells and his attitude is outrageous and kind of uncontrollably. He has a terrible attitude.
The second call with Dr. Now is where everything collapses. DeShaun has not followed the diet, has not done the exercises, has not stayed consistent with PT, and has not followed through with psychotherapy. When Dr. Now asks direct questions, DeShaun gives empty answers, like the conversation is just an inconvenience. Then his mother finally tells the truth. He only goes from the bed to the bathroom. He is not really walking, and at some point he has to want the change himself. Instead of hearing that as a wake-up call, DeShaun gets defensive, says he does not care, and turns the people trying to save his life into the villains of his story.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I barely eat. I don't care anymore.
Dr. Now's point is harsh, but it cuts straight to the core of the episode. DeShaun has a place to stay, food brought to him, video games, a phone, and people caring for him. So what is actually pushing him to change? His life is miserable, but it is also comfortable enough that he can avoid the world. He can lie in bed, complain about being blamed, ignore the plan, and keep living inside the same system that is destroying him. And when his mother and Dr. Now try to talk about saving his life, he is lying there on his phone like the conversation barely matters.
I don't know. At this point, it's I don't care. It's always I don't care.
Cause everything come out of everybody's mouth is blaming me like I'm not trying.
Sean, you got yourself
I
in this
don't
predicament.
care.
And everybody's trying to offer you the help that they can.
Therapy gives him another chance, but even that feels like pulling teeth. The therapist tries to get him to imagine life outside the bedroom, even something small like sitting in the living room or going outside on the patio. But DeShaun has almost nothing to offer. No job, no goals, no hobbies, no real interest in anything beyond TV and video games. When the therapist says his room is basically a jail cell, DeShaun says it is a good jail cell, and that might be the saddest line of the episode, because he thinks comfort is freedom while that room is actually where his life is shrinking. Then comes the shoe excuse, one of the most irritating moments in the whole episode. Dr. Now sends medical transport so DeShaun can get weighed at a local clinic, not for surgery or a massive trip to Houston, just to get on a scale and see where his body actually is. But DeShaun refuses because he does not have the right shoes. At nearly 700 pounds, after years of barely leaving his bedroom, shoes become the reason he cannot take the next step. And in that moment, it becomes clear that every obstacle will become a wall if DeShaun does not really want to move forward.
Because I don't have my shoes yet.
You waiting for your shoes?
Yeah,
Okay, and so when you gonna have those shoes?
sometime soon.
You don't know when?
Either today, tomorrow, or by Monday.
Okay, so if I set up another appointment for local clinic next week, you think you'll be ready for that?
By the end, Dr. Now has tried almost everything he can from a distance. He sends a nutritionist, PT therapy, medical transport, phone calls, chances, and more patience than most people would have. But DeShaun stops answering, stops cooperating, stops opening the door, and seems to push away the people trying to make his food healthier. So the episode ends with no surgery, no transformation, no comeback, and no real sign that he accepted responsibility. Just DeShaun still trapped in the same kind of room, surrounded by the same kind of excuses, proving one of the hardest truths in my 600 elba life. Help can come all the way to your bedroom door, but if you refuse to open it, nothing changes.